We have been homeschooling for close to 2 years now, and it has been an amazing ride. We are really enjoying homeschooling. And today I'm excited to talk to you about the benefits that we have seen from homeschooling our children. Now, one thing I want to say is that just because we homeschool, it doesn't mean that it's the only way or the better way to educate your children. Every system and every way of educating children has its own pros and cons. So I just don't want you to take this as a way of saying that homeschooling is better than regular schooling. It's just the path that we have chosen. And every family and every parent has the privilege of choosing what is best for their children. And I believe that as the Lord leads you, you're going to come up with the best way for schooling your children. So today we talk about the benefits that we have experienced in homeschooling our children. Welcome. Hi, my name is Suzy, and on this channel we're all about organizing, prioritizing, and budgetizing at home so that we can be happiest at home. We're also delving further into motherhood and parenthood, and I'm really excited to talk about this topic, which is very passionate to my heart. So the first benefit that we have found about homeschooling is that we are able to be the main influence in our children's lives, especially at these young foundational years. What we have learned is that you only have a very short time with your children before the world and other influences come into their lives. Right now, when kids are in the foundational and formative years, just before they become preteens, is the best time for parents to inculcate their values and the things that they cherish most and transform them and transmit them to their children. So we have found that being able to homeschool gives us the best platform to be able to teach our children good morals, character, and godly values, and we are really enjoying that. I don't know if you would agree with me, but I believe very rarely does the insistence and the focus on morals find its way in our classrooms today. I mean, rarely. How often will you hear your child come and tell you, oh, today the teacher taught us about honesty, or the teacher taught us about integrity, or the teacher taught us about kindness? It is rare because, the teachers, and I'm not blaming them, they have such a quick curriculum, quite a short time with those children to teach them the curriculum quickly, that they really just want to focus on the things that have been laid down for them from this topic to this topic to this topic to this topic. So they really don't have the time to sit down and teach the children about integrity, about kindness, about sharing. So it's nice when we do it at home in our own system and in our own time, because then we can take time to focus on godly and just on godly values and also on character building. I hope that makes sense. Another benefit about homeschooling is that it focuses on mastering concepts, not on passing exams, which you will find is a bit different from what happens in classrooms, especially in the education system that is used publicly, because there is such an insistence on children passing exams. You need to get good grades, you need to go to the next level. Sometimes even you need to be number one. What number were you in your class and all that, so that the children mostly, and I'm speaking from experience, because when we were growing up it was mostly about cramming. You cram, you pass the test, you forget. You cram for the next one, you pass, you forget. So that you will find that the children sometimes don't really grasp the main concept. But homeschooling, depending on the curriculum that you use, it really focuses on the child mastering the concept. And if you're using a curriculum like the one we use, which is accelerated Christian education, the child really cannot move to the next concept until they have mastered the current one. It is structured in such a way that there is such an insistence on mastery before you move to the next step. Because education is mostly just building on foundations. It's about concept built upon concept built upon concept. So I have found that I really like the fact that homeschooling and ACE as a curriculum will mostly focus and emphasize on the child learning and mastering that concept, which is amazing. And if one child, using the ACE as an example, if one child tends to understand the concept faster, they don't have to be held back. They just go on and leave the other child just working on mastering the previous concept, which is amazing. Another thing we have come to see as a great benefit of homeschooling is that there is a better teacher to student ratio. Right now in our schools currently here in Kenya, and generally in most public schools and even in private schools, you'll find that in a good sized classroom you have one teacher to around 25 to 30 and even sometimes to 40 students. Now, this teacher does not really have the time to focus on each child and make sure that each child understands that concept. But the good thing with homeschooling is that the ratio is normally 1-to-1, or if you're a parent with multiple children, it will be like one parent to 3 children, or in our case to 4 children. And in that way, the parent is really able to focus on the child, able to see the child's weaknesses and to work with them and to help them, because children are different. Now, can you imagine in a class of about 40 students, the teacher has about 1 hour to go through a math class, and she really does not have time to focus on the student who's at the back who's really not understanding, the student who maybe had a rough night at home and is just falling asleep. She will just move on with the ones who are understanding, because she has a curriculum to finish. And you'll find teachers are overworked and they are fatigued, and they really do try their best, and I really thank God for teachers, but it is very hard for them to give individualized attention. If you're finding value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, kindly consider doing so, and I really appreciate that. So let's go on to the next benefit. The next benefit about homeschooling is that there's a stronger parent to child bond. Now, please, if you take your child to regular school, I am not saying that you and your child are not close, please. I really know that every parent is doing the best that they can for their children. I just have found for us, in our family, in our situation, the more time we are spending with our children, the closer we get to them, the more we get to know them, the more we get to know what their hopes, their dreams are. And it's really been amazing. And you find that we spend so much time with the kids, and we love it, because the kids are only in our homes for a very, very short time, and we really want to maximize. Soon they'll be 18 and they will be gone, or they will be grown up, and there will be other influences in their life. So we're really learning and loving this time that we have with our kids, and the bonds. I can say that we're really getting to know our children and to know them really well, and that's for us, that's priceless. Priceless is the word. Priceless. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so, and I would really appreciate it. And also, if you have subscribed, don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you for subscribing. The next benefit about homeschooling is that there will be reduced bad influences on the kids. Now, this does not mean that they will be eliminated. I feel that by homeschooling our children, we are just sort of delaying the sometimes negative influences that are out there until the kids are able and a bit more emotionally developed to be able to handle and to be able to make the right choices for themselves. The world has gone like this. It used to be like this, now it's like this. It's completely upside down, and the bad influences out there are just... Okay, I know it's every parent's nightmare sometimes, but we have found that by just being able to somehow just delay the exposure of our children to these things, we're helping them to develop emotionally, we're helping them to be able to handle some of these bad influences when the time comes, and we're also protecting them, because bullying is real, body shaming is real, and just and all those things that kids are sometimes subjected to. So we have really found that it's a great opportunity to just help the kids to develop a bit more maturely before they are exposed to the world. Now, there's a difference between homeschooling and being sheltered, okay? So what I'm saying about homeschooling is not that we are hiding our kids away from reality. It's that we are saying kids need to be of a certain age before they are exposed to some things. They need to have developed a certain level of emotional maturity to handle some things, and that is not really what happens sometimes out there. You will find really 6-year-olds, even 5-year-olds just saying some things and doing some things, or being exposed to some things that are just shocking. So we have really appreciated their ability to be able to give our kids time to grow, shelter their innocence, for a while, and just help them to grow. And then once they're ready, once they have that emotional integrity, emotional intelligence, that's the word, they can be able to just handle some of these things. And yeah, and we have found that to be really, really, it's really important for us, for our family and our children. Another benefit we have found about homeschooling is that we have the flexibility to be able to mix and match different and many learning materials and resources so that we can tailor the education towards what interests our children, because people are different. And sometimes if you have just one regimented curriculum, just following that, it's not a one size fits all sort of situation, but sometimes in regular school they're actually forced to actually follow the one curriculum. But you'll find some people, some kids are more interested in technical things like, carpentry, woodwork, pottery, sewing, baking, and all that. And so homeschooling is nice because it enables us to tailor and to expose and to develop our kids' interests in any particular way that their interests will develop. You will find others are interested in programming and coding and computers and all that. And because we are the ones in control of our kids' education for now, we are able to sort of tailor their education to suit and to support their interests, because we all have different gifts and talents and capabilities, and homeschooling enables us to be able to do that. So I found that to be really amazing, and it helps the learning become more exciting for the child because you're actually doing what they're interested in. And there are people with valid feelings and valid dreams and valid interests, and it's nice for them to see that you as a parent care about what they're interested in. So we are really excited and enjoying that part about homeschooling. One more benefit we have found from homeschooling is that the kids are able to be more independent, more driven, and have better time management, because it reaches a point, especially when you're using a curriculum like the one we're using, which is ACE, and I will link the video that I did about ACE right here. You'll find that as the child progresses through the curriculum, they are sort of given the reins to their own education. They are able to set goals for themselves. They're able to set their own objectives and achieve them. So it helps them to be more independent. It helps them to learn how to manage their time better and to be better organized. And we have found that kids who have especially gone through this curriculum are very confident. They're very organized. They are very driven, and they have such great leadership qualities because they have learned how to be in charge of their own education, and it's really amazing. So homeschooling has so many benefits, not mentioning even about the kids don't have to wake up so early in the morning to go to school, or kids are able to sleep in. Kids are able to get regular good meals at home. So many benefits from homeschooling, and it's really been amazing to see our children just enjoying and reaping the good things that come out of homeschooling. So I hope this has shed a bit more light to you about homeschooling, and if it has, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and please share with someone who you think might find this interesting, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.